Honorable Minister, I'm going to take you away from, the shanties in Abuja. Your giant strides in infrastructural development, from roads to water, you're talking about trade. The hospitals have not felt the presence of Mr. Infrastructure.
Yes, that is what you would always say. Let me answer. She said so.
You've not allowed...
She said, no, you have said so. There's nothing to do. Say, don't take all my time.
Okay, sir.
You took all my time.
Right.
She said so last time that I was talking about infrastructure and I was going to do other things. And that she's happy that I have fulfilled that promise by going to other sectors.
Yes.
The problem we have is that when you see that you have attended to this sector, everybody believes that you must attend to all sectors at the same time. It's not correct. I told you about education. The number of schools we have renovated and furnished, right? And you say, but why is it that people are not aware? Okay, I'm going to direct the mandate secretary to take you to the rural area and see what we are doing in terms of schools. Now, somebody talks about youth participation and this and that. That's okay today. We have studied about sporting activities, sporting multi-event center that will bring the youth, engage them, all those kind of things. We have, our budget was just released. The 2025 budget was just sent to us after the National Assembly approved, and then Mr. President assented to it. So the procurement process is on as regarding to hospitals. We're talking about the hospital in Gwagwalada, we're talking about the hospital in Guaripa, even the doctor's quarters and the rest of it. We're talking about the Otako, which are the problem litigation. And so the hospital was abandoned because of litigation between the private persons and individuals and the government. So, and we've been able to sort out that issue of litigation. And then the procurement process is, of which you know about the procurement process, how long it takes, particularly when it concerns this specialty, this special areas. You cannot just say, oh, no, let's go ahead and do it the way we want to do it. No. So I believe that our next focus will be on the issue of health. Don't be surprised that if you're invited tomorrow, that the things we are doing in terms of health, you say, oh, you really said it last time we met, we're happy that you are now fulfilling. Anything I tell you, go home and sleep with your 2 eyes closed, that we are going to do. But people must always understand that when we talk about infrastructure, if I provide a hospital, there's no route to the hospital. How do you go? And if a woman is pregnant, another neighbor, and there's no road, how do you go there? Before you know it, that woman may lose her baby because of the bad road. It happens. Even tries to, a criminal like to when the roads are bad. And so people must understand that our focus on road is not just because it is the key. They determine to every sector. If you have a school, there's no road to the school, what do?
You have to control.
So it is important. People should know first thing first.
Speaking of Minister, the welfare of the people here is very paramount. I mean, it's going to be enunciated what you'll be doing in, the health sector in the FCT. You mentioned the Utako abandoned general hospital. All the districts in Abuja are supposed to be serviced by General Hospital, but there is a gradual deterioration of healthcare system in FCT as raised by resident doctors. They said, and I'll quote or verbatimly put it in perspective, systematic deterioration. Only yesterday they issued their communique. That is, I want you to address.
What do you mean about resident doctor? You're talking about the FCT or the
FCT resident.
People make mistake. There are some hospitals that are not under the FCT. There are hospitals that are under FCT. So you must have to differentiate that. Okay, the one that's done by Federal Ministry of Health and the one by FCT directly.
Yeah, I think the FCT resident doctors have issued That's what you're referring to, a 5-day notice.
You understand? Talking about the deterioration in the health system in the FCT,
let me tell you
general hospitals.
Let me tell you something. See, I was a governor, and I do know, I was a council chairman as a governor, and I'm here as a minister. One thing I found out in all this is that there's no time, even in ASU. Every time you hear one resolution, one communique, and this, and threat of this, and threat of that. Let me tell you something. When I was Minister of State Education, and then I became the supervising Minister of Education, then I met with the Vice Chancellors, and who were saying, look, what ASU is demanding is not proper. They don't understand the realities. They don't understand the funding part of government and the inadequate of resources. I said, how can you say that? Because you're a vice chancellor. Remember, before you became a vice chancellor, you were a lecturer. And you were asked. That's correct, yes. So I come down. You see, we must tell ourselves the truth. Every sector believes that everything should be 100%. And it is not possible. No government will sit back and say, look, I don't want this sector to be functional. No. Government applies its resources based on its availability. And you cannot say all your resources must be tailored towards one sector. You have to, as the need arises. Today, the doctors are talking about training and retraining. Tomorrow, the doctors are talking about allowances that will not be paid. Today, the doctors are talking, the hospitals, there are no equipment at this. When you provide the equipment today, tomorrow you say, look, yes, this equipment you have provided. What about training and retraining? You go for it, so look, hazard allowances and this and that. So each time you come up with, I'm not saying that some of these things have not been achievable immediately. And we must understand that. And you wake up in the morning, you hear news. We have issued government an ultimatum without even writing to government. They have issued an ultimatum. Here is, you don't engage with government and let government know these are the problems you are facing. The dream is just blackmail, threats. And by the time you sit down with them and say, look, but this is not possible. See this, see this, see this. You now come and we did not realize that this has been done. And these are not the things that this communicate you issue. Have you written to government that look, we want to discuss with you, see what you think, see what you do. When I was governor, doctors said, look, all of them entitled to vehicles. I said, how do I provide it? How do I provide it? How do I provide vehicle for over 2,000, 1,000 doctors? How do I do it? I said, this is the entitlement. Okay, assuming, do not consider. How do you provide it? You can say, okay, I will take 50 now, or I'll take 100. They'll say, no, 500. How do you provide it? And so we must be realistic.
I was saying you're the leader. Somehow leaders will figure it out.
No, but it should be realistic too. It should be realistic. Okay, take for example. I've just said here severally, and we don't want to take that. What does Abuja get from the Federation account? What do we get? What we get from the Federation account is that federal government gets $1 trillion, for example, in a month. For example, if I thought they do. 1% of $1 trillion is how much? Those of you who know mathematics. No, which 100 billion?
1 billion.
10 billion naira. Yeah. That is not up to for you to pay salary. Now, what do? You fall back to your IGL. Is it not correct?
The FCT wage bill is more than 10 billion naira a month.
It is 12-point-something billion naira a month.
Overhead.
Salary.
Yeah, that's overhead.
And for over 47,000 workers, how do you have 47,000 workers in FCT?